You know, phones have become so boring. Every single one of them looks the same, don't you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. Why don't you design your own?
I mean, yeah, I could design my own, but what's really the use at the end? It's just a concept, and it takes a lot of time to do something different than some established brands out there when it comes to the design itself, you know?
Jermaine, I think you should just do it.
I mean, fair enough, then I at least can say that I designed something myself that looks different. You know what? You're right. I'm just gonna design one, I'm gonna put it on Twitter, gonna maybe make a simple 3D model of it and just see what people think of it. Like there's no way it becomes reality. Oh yeah, here we go, the official introduction of the Samsung Galaxy S21. I'm excited to see what they've done with the design. That is my design! Well, son of a... Alright, Samsung Galaxy S10. It's time to pretty much say goodbye because S21 Ultra is in. I really like this black, apart from some corners where it just looks a bit odd when it comes to painting it. No, it's hard to display that, but you know, I'll show it off. But it's finally in. It's glad to see, and you know, my design really worked out well. You know, I like how it's different. Still prefer, of course, a centered camera like the Samsung Galaxy S10. Let's just get the SIM in there, and oh, it's not on the top anymore. You know, design change. Something different. Oh, right here at the bottom. Right here at the bottom. Have they done a Samsung Galaxy S6 again? Surely not, right? They have to have another port, you know. It's not like Samsung to remove features, you know, and then, you know, they made a lot of fun of other companies for that. Oh, that's a disappointment to begin with. Not only stealing my design, it's very disappointing. You know what? I just, after those two blows, I just need to drive a little bit, have my music on, and just relax, you know? Let's go. Of course, you gotta listen to some music, right? Some tunes and whatnot. You know, when you're driving, it's really nice. Because my car has a nice headphone jack plug, so it's really handy. You know, it doesn't have Bluetooth, but it has the headphone jack. Right here, it doesn't have a headphone jack. Whew. You know what? I'm gonna video record. The camera has to be a top seller. I mean, it can record up to 8K video. That's crazy. Who doesn't want to have 8K on their phone, right? Let's find out. Okay, so I just came back from recording and I came to the realization that 8K recording isn't really useful, especially on a phone. I don't have an 8K TV. I don't have an 8K monitor, max is 4K. I don't have any use for the 8K, so why would I want it? Not to mention that the 8K quality isn't any good. Apart from those obvious notches that I just gave to Samsung, let's discuss the Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra. So before we start this long-term review of the Samsung Galaxy S21, I will have to say, I've been a Samsung user for a very long time, starting with something like the Samsung Galaxy F700, the Ultra Touch, all those kind of devices, the Star, the 5800, so many devices. So when I'm talking in this review, this is not meant as a Samsung hater. A lot of things that people like to address when you don't have a positive thing to say about Samsung. This is not the case. I've been a Samsung lover for a very long time. I've been a Samsung knight around the S3, S4 time, I guess. But I am also honest, and there are some things that I found about the Samsung Galaxy S21 that I'm just not sold on. I don't think that the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra deserves the Ultra tag, even though in terms of hardware, it is a solid device apart from some obvious features that are missing. Anyway, let's start this full review and talk about my experience with the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra and of course what I like to see different. So to begin with, I think Samsung has done a lot of things right, especially with their Fold series. I think it's a cool technology that I'd like to use myself. Heck, I bought a broken Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 2 and if you haven't seen the video, I will post it in the description. But when we are talking about the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra, I still think that Samsung does one thing really well. It's the display and of course software. Software experience is really solid on Samsung. I find that it's just logical in the terms of how you use it. The separate gallery app, for instance, is genius. It's far better than the Google Gallery app. That's just terrible. Sorry, I know there probably are people that really like that. I think it's terrible. It's really bad. When it comes to the music player, also again, Samsung does that really well. For me, when it comes to software experience, Samsung still does it really well, and I think they are the best out there. That's my opinion, of course, and you can agree or disagree. But when it comes to hardware, there are definitely things where Samsung has settled, where Samsung is forcing you to do something different, where Samsung is like, you know what, we made fun of that feature before for not having it, but now we are going to do the same and ignore our loyal consumers. Like for instance me. I've been using Samsung for so long, and having features removed on a phone, it just doesn't float well with me. Even more so if you made fun of another brand beforehand. Hence the headphone jack seems explicit, right Samsung? And then the charger, it does include with the box itself, and then yeah, but let's remove it. Those things just don't float well with me. It's the same with the micro SD slot, as well removed on the Samsung Galaxy S21. Honestly, Samsung was always about giving you a lot of experience with the phone itself, giving you the basic features and giving them the option to choose something else if you wish. The 3.5 can stay and you still can use your Bluetooth devices. And Samsung knows that. They still sold their Bluetooth headset, of course, when they actually had the headphone jack with their phone. Perfectly fine. People can choose Bluetooth. But don't remove the feature like the 3.5mm headphone jack. It seems like they are quite a bit of a hypocrite when it comes to those kinds of moves. It seems that Samsung is like, yeah, you shouldn't do that, and then they're like, you know what? So many billions Apple made with that Bluetooth headset, maybe we should do the same. You know what I mean? Honestly, my side for the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra is just that in terms of software, like stated, it's really solid. But Samsung is not the Samsung that it used to be. And you cannot say that even if you are a Samsung user, that you disagree with that. Because simply put, Samsung isn't the Samsung that we used to know. Okay, but let's skip the things that I find that Samsung has missed on. Let's skip the things like the 3.5mm headphone jack, let's skip the micro SD, and of course having a power adapter inside the box itself. Even though that's really possible with the Xiaomi charger and still having a smaller box. I've proven that with my Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra concept. Link in the description, I used real measurements. Either way, let's talk about the camera. Now, to begin with, there are some really good things about the camera setup itself. For instance, you do have all kinds of possibilities. You have the ultra wide, you have the zoom, you have two versions of zoom. A 3x zoom and of course your 10x zoom with of course the periscope. Again, Samsung does that really well. I think here they engineered a setup that works really well. But that's not the whole story, is it? Samsung, when it comes to their images, loves to have pictures that aren't necessarily the greatest, in my opinion, of course. When it comes to their camera setup, I find it that often, especially with the periscope itself, they over sharpen things so much. It's unbelievable that they sharpen it so much, and when you zoom in as well, the contrast just bumps up. I think in terms of staying consistent, it does pretty well, although it can fluctuate sometimes when it comes to HDR setups. But overall, I will have to say that the processing of images on the Samsung Galaxy S21 isn't to my taste. I don't think they've done a really good job, and Samsung always has been like, we're up there, but not really in some cases. And their consistency is that mostly overall you would know that in terms of camera experience, in terms of picture experience, it would do pretty well. Nothing that really stands out. And I still think this is true. I do think, however, that Samsung should really work on that, especially when you come with hardware like this inside your phone. Why can you still not deliver that better performance, especially videos? Still, I think that the bitrate is quite a bit low, but especially at the beginning, the video performance wasn't good at all. I will leave a link in the description for TechTablets as well. It's just, oh, it was so bad at the beginning. It was really bad. And I think that's something that Samsung shouldn't have, especially for a phone that costs this much. At the end, the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra is, in terms of hardware as stated, a really solid phone, but it fails for me to deliver a package that is a true Samsung device. And honestly, the last one they did that was a true Samsung device, simply put, was the Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus. Honestly, that is where the Samsung line really stands apart, and you can tell by the sale numbers of the Samsung Galaxy S21, it's not going in the right way. Honestly, what do you think about Samsung and what they are doing currently? Were you a Samsung fanboy? Are you still a Samsung fanboy? No hate, you can be a fanboy from whatever brand you want. It's your choice, and I'm not gonna hate on you for being a fanboy. It makes perfect sense, a lot of people do it. Either way, let me know in the comments below what you think about the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra and how you feel about this video. It's more of a passionate opinion about the device, if that makes sense. Either way, I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, don't forget to, of course, leave a like and subscribe if you aren't yet, and of course, leave a comment below. It really does help out the video. Also, let me know what you think about the little skit at the beginning. I found it quite fun to do, but it is a little bit older. It was recorded with my Canon instead of right now recording, of course, with my Panasonic Lumix S5. Either way, hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, good. Have a good one, and talk to you guys in the next.